welcome to the Fruit Snacks Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching. I am the T1D Moms Coach. I'm here to help you manage your mental and emotional health while managing your child's diabetes. 2 of my 5 kiddos have been diagnosed, and so I'm very familiar with your struggles, and I don't know where I'd be without these life coaching tools and the gospel of Jesus Christ to get me through the day and night. Thank you for joining me as we journey towards feeling less scared, sad, and stressed, and start feeling more calm, confident, and connected. Let's get started. All right, welcome back to the Fruit Snacks Podcast. Thanks for listening. Today, we've got a really good episode. Today is about connection for cooperation. So when we talk about dropping power struggle wars with our kiddos, we talk about one of the first things we need to do is pick our battles, right? But you cannot drop the diabetes war altogether. There are some battles you can pick. Yes, we want our kids to brush their teeth. Yes, it would be good if they did it more often than not. No, their teeth are not going to fall out of their face instantly overnight and have thousands of dollars of medical bills if they skip it one night, So sometimes if that's a battle you want to pick, whether they're going to brush their teeth or not, you can drop the war completely and not brush their teeth at night. If you are just completely spent and all of the other techniques of getting cooperation are not working, you can just drop that battle. But diabetes is here. Diabetes is not going anywhere. Their blood sugar levels actually are life and death. You cannot drop that war, right? But there are a lot of nuances that you can. And really, like the things that are just non-negotiable, we've got to figure out how to get cooperation, right? So as we pick our battles and we're trying to drop the war, we recognize they have agency, right? We talked about this last week. So recognizing their agency, seeing it from their point of view, that can help us empathize with them, which guess what? That empathy, it creates connection, which is going to lead to more cooperation. So what we're talking about today is connection. One of the goals of this podcast and my coaching is to help you feel more connected with your diabetic kiddo, because power struggles disconnect, right? We're feeling resentful, we're feeling angry, we're feeling frustrated, and so are they. And connection is a feeling, right? So we're trying to feel more connected. I'm going to give you all sorts of tips and tricks and tools on this episode of how to get more connected in order to have more cooperation so that we can get the things done we have to do. Okay. No kid wants to be poked. No kid wants shots every time they need to eat. No mom wants to poke their child, right? We don't want to give shots. They don't want to get shots. But guess what? It has to happen. So we have to have that cooperation. We have to have our own buy-in. We understand how important it is. They're just kids. They may not understand how important it is. So they may not intellectually get on board, but children, as a basic human childness, children want to please us. They do. I promise. Your child is just born with that. It's natural. It's inherent. They want to please their parents. They are not fighting with you because they disrespect you. They're not fighting with you because they don't like you. They're not fighting with you. They just don't want a shot, right? And when you recognize that, you can drop all the layers of drama, that this isn't about them disrespecting you. This isn't about their, sneaky manipulative. This isn't about any of the terrible stories that we come up with. We got to clean those up because, like I said, connection is a feeling that comes from our thoughts. So we need to be thinking connecting thoughts in order to feel connected with our child. So we need to be thinking empathetic thoughts, right? Seeing it from their point of view, recognizing that, of course, they're a kid. Of course, they don't want to do this. Of course, I don't want to do this. Like empathize with ourselves too. That helps build connection. Okay. So we do need cooperation. So picture one of those power struggle moments, like when you're trying to, give them a shot. We'll just keep using that example, right? We're going to dose them with some insulin. How do they react? How do you react? Just picture the whole entire scene. See the action line right now. Look at yourself. Listen to yourself. What are you saying? What are you doing? Is any of that action line coming from connection? Are you feeling connected? Or are you feeling frustrated, irritated, annoyed, stressed out, sad, scared, all the things, right? We're feeling all those terrible feelings. That's not going to drive action that's driven by an emotion like connection, right? So we got to drop the war on that whole model and start from scratch and think about what we want to think intentionally in those moments that are going to create some more peace, calm, connection, and cooperation. Okay. So if you want to start at the top of the model or the bottom, look at your actions, decide how you want to be acting instead, or what you want to be saying, what feeling needs to be driving those actions. Okay. And them feeling connected. So you can imagine what their model is, right? So that's how we get to empathy, right? Is picturing what they're thinking and feeling. So they're thinking, I don't want a shot. They feel really frustrated because they have to get a shot anyway, even though they don't want one. And that's why they're showing up the way they are. So understanding what's going on in our minds and bodies in those moments can help us drop that war and intentionally choose to build a more connected model, right? So we're going to feel more connected by empathizing with them and breathing. Okay. So in our action line, we need to stop our model right there before the action line, before we show up the way we're showing up and saying things that we're saying. We stop and we breathe. We put in that pause. We reconnect with ourselves. We calm our nervous systems. Let's just do one right now. Breathe with me because we're all getting worked up just thinking about it. And then we can try again from a more intentional, calm, peaceful place. Okay. So if all of this sounds like, yeah, that's nice, Emily, but you're not actually in my chaotic, crazy house. You know what? I promise you I am. I'm in my chaotic, crazy house, and I promise I know, and I can help. Okay. So if it all sounds very fairies and rainbows to like be able to calm down and to be able to take care of diabetes in a more peaceful way, I promise you it's possible. And that's what we do in coaching. So I can help you with that. We will get there. And it doesn't mean that everything is zen all day long. Like the reality of life is still there, but it's in pockets, it's in moments, it's in small incremental changes that really do build up and have huge improvements. Okay. Okay. So we want to be building connection first. So we take a breath, we calm our own nervous systems, we regulate ourselves, and then we can co-regulate with them. So they're pitching a fit, we're pitching a fit. Let's just drop the whole war and hug, maybe, if they're open to that. If you've calmed yourself down and you give them a hug to help co-regulate them, maybe ask them a question, get them talking about something besides the shot, right? Like, what happened at school today? Hey, what's going on in this picture you were drawing when I came in to interrupt you to tell you that we have to do a pod swap? Or what were you playing? Or whatever, like get them talking about something else that gets their mind thinking about something else that gets their body more regulated. Just those simple tricks, techniques, right? Hugs or conversation change what they're thinking about, and actually hear them, get into their world. That will build connection, right? We're trying to connect with them. So we need to even understand what's going on for them. Most of the time we're so lost in our own world and our own stresses and our own, like we need to get this pop swapped. We need to get everybody to bed. We got to change the sheets. We got to, there's like a million things to do. Then we're just frantic, right? So let's just take a minute. I promise you, you have a minute. We always think we don't have time for this. We do. We always have time to breathe and regulate ourselves, because then everything else will go much smoother, and that actually takes a lot less time. Okay. So take a minute literally to connect with them. What book is that? No Drama Discipline, I think, talks about connect and then redirect. So you open this book, you're like, oh, I have this kid, I need to work on discipline with them. Somebody suggested this book. So, and then the whole entire book is about connect. And at the very end, I guess, probably, I don't know, I haven't finished reading a book in a long time. I tried reading this actually a long time ago, so maybe I did. Anyway, there's a little redirect at the end, but really, like, once you've connected, the redirect, the disciplinary action, the, taking care of business, the whatever you need to get done, the non-negotiable, giving them the shot, right, is a lot easier once you've connected first. So we think, I don't have time for this. We make it take even longer and way more dramatic. So let's calm down. Let's connect. and then we can redirect, right? So we're going to build connection first, then take care of what we need to do, and it's going to go a lot smoother. So have I said this 400 times yet? Connection is a feeling that comes from our thoughts. So we need to be watching our thoughts intentionally. That's what we do in coaching. We slow it all down. We take an example of when you lost your mind yesterday. What was going on for you? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Probably we take the example of when your child lost their mind. What were they thinking? What were they feeling? What were they doing? We mostly just know about the doing part, right? But we got to get curious about the thought feeling combination that led to that quote unquote bad behavior, right? On their part or our part, right? And it's really fun. It's fun, I promise, to go back and figure out what is causing the behavior, because we're just willpowering, trying to change our behavior. We're just trying to authoritatively change our children's behavior. Neither of those is working, right? So what I propose to do instead is to figure out what we're thinking and feeling, and then the action line just follows, right? Once we've got the awareness of what's going on, the acceptance, awareness without judgment, right? Acceptance, then we just go into alignment naturally. So just like that book, the majority of it is connect and then just a little redirect in the end. You just need a couple little tools for behavior, but mostly we need thought feeling work. Okay. It's the emotional and the mental stuff that's going to affect the action line stuff, I promise. So my parenting coach, Lisa Smith, the Peaceful Parent, if you want to look her up, she's amazing. She has a group program you can join. I'm in there with you. What does she say? She says that power struggles prove connection. I love that quote. So it's basically the idea of like your child has a full emotional backpack, right? All day long, they're keeping it together when they're with everybody else. And then they dump it on you when they get home, right? And so the power struggles, the emotional outbursts, everything, their quote unquote bad behavior that they do around you proves the connection that you do have with them, because it shows that you're the safe place that they can be themselves. They can be their worst self. They can dump everything that they've been holding in all day. I heard the other day that kids act 800 times worse for their parents than they do for anybody else. Or maybe it was specifically their mom. I don't know. But 800 times worse, right? That's why we're so exhausted, because we've been taking a beating from all of these kids all the time. They just need to dump their emotions. They don't know like a nice, kind way to do it or a quiet way to do it. We've got to be a safe place for them to be able to dump all their emotions. And the way we do that is for us to take care of our own emotions, right? Because when we're a mess, then when they lose it, it just triggers us and it's just a huge mess all around, right? So that is what coaching is for. That is what I'm here for, to help you with your mental and emotional regulation so that you can handle their dysregulation, so that you can co-regulate with them. Okay. So you are the safe place for them to dump their emotions all over, their pent up emotions, right? I actually did make notes for this podcast today, which means I keep trying to read my notes and I don't know what it says. Maybe that's why I don't usually do an outline. Okay, let's see what this last one says. Okay, so connecting with who they actually are, not your, oh goodness, what do these words say? Okay, not your unrealistic expectations of who you want them to be. Okay, so if we're talking about connection, we're talking about actually connecting with your child, not, the delusion that you thought would be your child. Because we were all amazing parents until we actually had kids, right? Because they're not robots. They are them. And their diabetic version, right? I keep hearing T1D moms talk about this. Like, my child was so sweet and wonderful, and then diabetes, right? I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for them. It's a lot for us. They really are good. They still are. They are their sweet little self. They're just going through a lot, and so are you. And with that compassion and empathy for both of you, you can build connection. So connecting with who they really are, even connecting with who they're being right in this moment, like who they're acting like, even if it's not their true good self, they're, it's more of their mortal struggling self. We want to connect with them, not the delusion in our heads of who we expect them to be. That's not who they are. who they are right now, how they're behaving is what's happening. So when we're resisting reality, right? Fighting with reality, we lose every time. So accepting our own, right? When we get awareness of how we're behaving, them too, right? When we get awareness of how they're behaving, where it came from, their thoughts and feelings driving their actions, but not judging it, like accepting that that's who they are right then, that is where connection is built. It's a love and acceptance of people, seeing them for who they really are, seeing them that who they really are is not what they're acting like right now, but remembering who they truly are. That is connection. Okay. So if we can remember to redirect our brains always to these higher, holier ways of thinking, then we can live in alignment with them, have that connection. We can remind them who they are, right? And all of this will be modeling for them how to do it themselves, right? Okay, there you go. That's the end of my notes. So connection for cooperation. There are some wars we cannot drop. We got to pick our battles, and that means there are still some battles that we've got to pick. So we've got to set firm, kind limits, stick to those limits, and the way we do that is through connection. So if you're feeling like you are not getting any cooperation out of this kid lately, check your connection meter, right? Like you need to fill their love tank, fill your love tank. You love and accept yourself, then you have so much more to give, so much more grace to give. You can love and accept others when you love and accept yourself. So that is, again, what we do in coaching. If you want a complimentary coaching session, I still have a few spots, little spots on my calendar that are open. So go to dropthewar.com/appointments and you can sign up for a complimentary coaching session. You can also sign up for our T1D support group call, which happens every Tuesday morning. And I also have a fun free video available right now. You're about to hear about it on the outro too. So let me just say it twice. Top 3 brain hacks for T1D moms. Okay. So when my first daughter was diagnosed, I have 2, right? When the first daughter was diagnosed in the hospital, I was just overwhelmed, right? We're all overwhelmed, hardcore. And I was overwhelmed with gratitude for these coaching tools that I had been learning and practicing for years by then. I felt like that was preparing me for the diagnosis. And I just want to give back and help other T1D moms who didn't have that preparation and got blindsided by this diagnosis. I have actually a lot more than 3 hacks in there. A lot of stuff spews out of my mouth, but it's labeled as the top 3 brain hacks to help T1D moms. So check that out at dropthewar.com/top 3. And I will see you on Zoom. Thanks for listening. Make sure you rate, review, if you're going to give it a good rating, and share with other T1D mom friends so that we can spread the word and get as many moms the mental and emotional support that we all need. All right. Talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye. Hey, T1D moms. Was that episode helpful? I put together a free video for you with my top 3 brain hacks for T1D moms. Check it out at dropthewar.com/top 3. Having a child with diabetes is hard enough. Let's not make it any harder with the way we're thinking about it all. Get my free top 3 brain hacks for T1D moms video at dropthewar.com/top 3. See you there. Hello, my sweet T1D parent friend. The next time you catch yourself thinking that you can't do this anymore, redirect your brain to Philippians 4:13 and remind yourself that you can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. As your life coach, I'm here to be a conduit to help you get your brain and body aligned in order for your spirit to clearly communicate with His Spirit to become your own diabetes parenting expert. Go to dropthewar.com/appointments for your complimentary coaching session, and let's do this thing.